with your song.
Hey, this is Keith Mohr here with Song Refiners. I am so excited to bring to you one of my good industry friends. I've known this guy for a long time. I believe he even came out the judge, maybe at some of my song
That's right. That's right. I
contests,
did.
and
Yeah.
that's how I got to know you and many other industry people in Nashville. So let me introduce you real quick to Chris Keaton. Chris, how you doing today, sir?
Keith, I'm doing great. And thank you for letting me come on here. I love what you're doing for writers with
Thank
Song
you.
Refiners. I mean, it's just like way cool. Way cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a really cool experiment, and anytime you start something new, you're a creative entrepreneur like myself. You never know how it's going to go. Kind of like a
Yeah,
song.
that's right.
Well, why don't you tell us about yourself, like who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it, and what you're looking forward to in the future.
Okay. So I decided I wanted to be in the music business February 9th, 1964, when I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan.
Oh yeah.
And, from that point on, I wanted to be a rock star. And fortunately, I played in bands for years. I was on the road for years. And then I transitioned in like 93. I moved to Nashville to be in the business. I transitioned out of being an artist and more on the business side. And man, I just hit the ground running out there. I was there at the right time. I didn't even know when I moved to town what a song plugger was. And within 9 months, I was one. And within a year, I was starting to have success with it. So it's been an amazing path. My wife and I lived in Nashville full time for almost 30 years. Now we split our time between a home in Virginia and Nashville.
Yeah.
But I have had a lot of really good success. Been very fortunate to meet the right people, and essentially what my business comes down to, I have been fortunate in getting the right song in front of the right person at the right time.
That's
There
it.
it is.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's like 1/3 of the equation. A lot of times songwriters think, just because they've written what they think is a great song, that's all there is to it, but they don't know how it works.
Well, and rightly so. Because it's a crazy business. I mean, like I say, when I moved to Nashville, I didn't know anything about being a song plugger. It's kind of like the old analogy when I would have people come in my office and go, "Hey man, I just did a brand new CD. I just recorded one." I'm like, "That's great. What are you going to do?" "Well, I'm gonna put it up online and people will buy it." I'm like, "Okay, well, how are they going to find it?" And they go, "Well, I don't really know." And I'm like, "Exactly." You for every ounce of inspiration, you got to have a pound of perspiration. And you can quote me on that. That was a good one. I just came up with that.
I like that.
You got to have marketing. And if you're a songwriter, most times you don't want to do that. And it makes sense, because if you are a creative, either a songwriter or an artist, you can't be the one to try to market yourself. You need to focus on being the best songwriter or the best artist you can be, and let somebody like me or a professional who does what I do, let them do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, exactly. So what does a song plugger do exactly?
I used to use the joke, we listen to music all day and take long lunches. And it's not really a joke, because honestly, that's what we do. We review songs for writers, then we cast those songs for artists who are looking. So we're listening to the artist, and then we're listening to the catalogs that we represent. Then I call people, decision makers in the industry, schedule meetings. They used to be almost all in person. Nowadays, the majority are on Zoom or Teams meetings. Or now that my relationships are so deep with a lot of people, if I call and try to set something up and they don't have anything, they say, "Hey, just send them to me in an email," which I will do. And then I follow up with people. So, I listen to music all day and contact people and talk to people. It's not that bad a job, really.
It's not, and it's a lot better when you actually get a song cut, right?
Isn't that the truth? Yeah. Well,
So,
because then everybody's happy. The artist is happy because they
yeah,
have a potential hit. Songwriter is happy because all of the sweat, blood, and tears they put into creating music is finally getting, some notoriety. And so,
yeah.
yeah, getting a cut is a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal. I mean, and what happens when it actually does get cut? I mean, how can a songwriter make money? I mean, we were talking before we started about how you had a song that you had a lot of success with, and
Yeah.
what happened with that song? Who was it with?
Well, okay, so this was in the early 2000s. It was a song that I represented that Larry Willoughby and Hank DeVito wrote. And it
Okay.
was called Building Bridges. And Tony Brown called me one day and said, "Hey, don't you represent that catalog?" Tony Brown is a hit producer. For those of you who don't know, please Google him. You'll be
Yeah,
amazed.
yeah.
But he called and said, "Hey, don't you have that song?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, please bring it over." So I took him a copy of the song. He called the next day and said, "I want to put the song on hold because we're going to record it." And I'm like, "Okay, who?" And he said, "Brooks and Dunn." And he said, "We're going to stack it up. We're going to go for a Grammy. So we're going to have Vince Gill and Sheryl Crow sing backup on it. So it'll be a vocal event." So, yeah. So consequently, it was on the charts for a year and a half. It was in the top 20 for over a year. It was nominated for a Grammy, didn't win. It was nominated for a CMA award, didn't win. It was nominated for an ACM award, and it did win. So we got all of this airplay on it. And consequently, it ended up selling like 3 million copies. So the income stream, even for me as just a small participant in it, was very nice. And I don't mind telling you, it paid for 2 years worth of private school tuition for my daughter. And it bought me a really hot sports car, and that I miss it these days, even now.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
and you were just representing the song. You weren't the songwriter.
wasn't the songwriter, and I wasn't the full publisher either. I mean, I was essentially a connector, an intermediary who happens to know a lot of people in the industry, and
Sure.
people come to me and say, "Hey, can you introduce me, or can you introduce my music to these people on the other side?" Which is what I still do now.
Yeah. So you kind of like are like that bridge. You bridge that gap between the writer and the actual manager or a producer like Tony or anybody, because it's all about relationships. And that's what a lot of writers around the country and the world, they just don't understand.
Right.
They think
Yeah.
it ends with the song, doesn't
Yeah, and the truth is, it begins with the song, because
it? Right.
if I don't have a good song, then I mean, I could talk to people all day. I mean, I'm happy to talk about myself all day long, but people don't want to hear that. They want to hear hit songs that their
Yeah.
artists can cut. And yeah, it's such a different side of the business that most songwriters never even consider it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because they're wearing the emotional creative hat. They're not wearing
Exactly.
the analytical, business side.
And rightly so, because I mean, I have written a song or two, but I don't call myself a songwriter, because I'm really not. But I am a connector, because I have met all of these people in the business, have ingratiated myself to them or them to me,
Yeah.
and I have nurtured my network all these years. And that's a really big part of it. I mean, this is a classic example of it. You and I met 10 or 15 years ago.
Yeah.
We have done business over the years from time to time, but there'll be times that we go 3 or 4 years and we don't talk to each other.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't mean we don't have a connection. It just means that right at that particular moment,
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of need for it. But it's all about who you know and how you treat those people.
Yeah, exactly. I always say it's about who you know, but it's also about who knows about you. And
Right.
that's, when I reached out to you, you remembered me, and, I knew about you, and I'm like, I wonder if there's any synergy there. So you just
Yeah.
knock on a door and you see if it opens, and, here we are. And so that's great.
And I have to say this too. It was actually even before you and I reached out. there were a couple of writers who are in the Song Refiners program who stumbled upon my website, reached out to me, and then apparently from when you called me and we talked about it, they were talking about me in their meeting, and which I dearly love. I love it when people are talking about me.
Oh, we were talking about you.
Dude, you can say anything you want. Just please spell my name right. I don't care about anything else.
With Song Refiners, we have different levels of participation, from just a casual user who can just pay for, a review as they go, or we have membership. And so our members get together every Tuesday evening at 7, and we talk about all kind of stuff. But the way they found out about you was because since they were a member, in their review, at the bottom of their review, they get like I call the showcase. And the showcase actually goes out, scrapes the internet for people who are doing good stuff that they can then connect with. And so it's a really valuable part of their reviews. And not only are we telling them like, hey, this is what's right about your song, this is what maybe needs a rewrite, but here's some opportunities for you. And that's how they found out, because I went to look and I'm like, there's Chris. Chris is listed as one of the resources. So good job. Your website's working.
Well, I appreciate it very, very much. I really, really do.
Yeah. And so then when I found out, and they were singing your praises, I'm like, hey, I got to reach out, because maybe there's something that we can do, to benefit everybody. I'm all about a win-win-win, and so I call it a tri-winity, Tri-winity.
I love it.
It's a southern term. Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the song itself. I mean, since you have a lot of experience with songs, what makes a song a good song?
I think it's different in every case of every song, but hit songs have to move people emotionally, one way or the other. Move them to dance, move them to tears, move them to laughter, move them to move. It's songs work on an emotional level. I mean, there is definitely a craft to it, and you have to learn the craft of how to make your songs emotional but not be sappy. The other thing I think that really makes a song great is songwriters should always learn the way to tell the old story that's been told 1,000 times before in a little bit of a new way. And if you can do that, that's typically what a hit song is, because you're not taking anybody anywhere they haven't been before, right, spiritually or emotionally or in a narrative, but you're sharing the story in a completely different way. There's a song right now by Cody Johnson. It was written by Jimmy Yeary and a couple of other guys. It's called Hello Lonesome. And it may be, to me, right this minute, the perfect country song. It's talking about a guy. It's a guy talking, and he personifies lonesome. And he's talking to lonesome because his girl just left.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new twist on the story. And I highly encourage everybody to go and listen to it, because it really is a lesson in how to write a hit song and get it done in like 3 minutes flat. So
wow,
yeah,
that's
cool.
That's great. That's great. I will make sure I go check that out, because I'm a student of the game too. And as you know, success leaves clues, right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll get these seasoned gentlemen, that'll reach out to me that are older than me and you, and they'll get mad because they get a low score, and it's because their song was 5 minutes long. It took them 35 seconds to get into verse 1, which that's a hard and fast rule. Like, you're never going to get past a publisher if you go in their office and play them 35-second intro, right?
No. I got a story about that too.
I'd love to hear the story.
Well, this is one of my favorites. This is back in the cassette days, okay? And when we pitched cassettes, there was protocol about that. You had to fold the lyric sheet a certain way. You had to put the rubber band on the two in a certain way. And you would always want to cue the tape up to the very first note of the intro.
Yep.
Okay. So I go rolling in, hello to producer, hand him the tape. He unwraps it, puts it in the machine, hits play, unfolds the lyric sheet, the lyric sheet, and before it even gets to the first line, he hits stop and says, "Nope, not going to work." And I'm like, "What?" And he said, "I read ahead." So to this day, I don't take lyric sheets in when I play a song for somebody. But the point is, and your point is taken very well, that intro can't be but about a couple seconds. Because, let the producer come up with a killer intro. What you want to do is position your words, your music, and your melody in front of people that can do something with it. So.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, I mean, with the proliferation of AI, as you know, you're hearing a lot of AI demos. AI will consistently do 30-second intros. It's rare that you can get that stupid thing to like come in on a chorus or a verse. It's got to do its thing, And so part of what we do in our review is the first thing we talk about is how long is your intro? How long does it take? How long does it take for verse 1 to actually get started? And if it's long, I'm sorry, you got tops maybe 8 to 10 seconds, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, even like back in the 80s when John Bon Jovi and Desmond Child were writing together, I mean, they had a catchphrase that still works today. It's like, "Don't bore us, get to the chorus."
Right.
And it's true. I mean, if your hook is in your chorus, you need to get there as quickly as you can.
Yeah, well, they used to say under a minute, but I swear to God, it's got to be 35 to 45 seconds now.
Yeah, and with social media, I mean, with analytics and stuff, like I do a lot of posting on social media, and I have been shown now how to look at the analytics. And it's amazing how many people will watch something for about 8 seconds and then they're gone.
Oh,
so I think the good rule for all of us in the music business is get there quickly, catch them early, or you may not catch them at all.
Yeah. I'm constantly telling writers, man, you got to cut that stuff down. You got to get to that chorus. I mean, don't do an 8-line verse 1. It's too long. You got to get to the hook quick, or don't gang up 2 or 3 verses. I mean, it's just nuts. And AI will they'll write books, volumes of books, if you just let them do its thing and not, actually edit it and go through and put your brain on it. And another thing it does too, it'll sing the obituary column like a songbird. I mean, it'll move you emotionally that John Doe died last week, and that he had 6 kids and 22 grandchildren. I mean, you're crying because it's like it knows how to pull the string.
Oh yeah, and somebody's going to do that now. Now that you put that out in the universe, it's going to happen.
Yeah. I think that might be something that I might need to put together. So
I think you should.
I'm thinking about it
before this comes out.
Title it obituary. Like what are people going to say about you after you're gone?
Yeah. What are you leaving behind? Yeah.
Man,
there you go.
That's a good one. Will you represent it for me, please?
Absolutely. I'm in there.
That's funny. Yeah. I mean, it's a different world now, as you know. Back in the day when you represented, well, you're still doing it, but I mean, when you were doing it back before this AI thing, you knew there was only one way for a song to be created. That was for somebody to be thinking with their head, and maybe they were using a dictionary, a thesaurus to come up with a word, they were making it up. How do you get around that this day? I mean, when you present like an AI demo to somebody in the industry, what are they? Do they accept it, or do they go, how do we really know they did this?
Yeah,
what do you do to prove all that?
It's a very good question, and the answer to that is evolving daily. And the reason I say that is a year ago, more like about a year and a half ago, was when the AI discussion started happening. About a year ago, it was every day. It was in every conversation. And a year or so ago, it was like no labels wanted to listen to it. Nobody wanted to talk about it. It was like, leave it alone. Well, the notion finally came upon everybody that it's a tool. And if it is a tool like a guitar, it is a tool like a dictionary, it's a tool like Master Writer, it's a tool like Pro Tools is to the recording studio. And if you use it correctly, meaning if you're the one putting the input in and letting it build around it, it's like having a producer in your pocket. And it's really, with all due respect to all of the demo musicians out there, it's not a whole lot different than me, the songwriter, coming in, sitting down and playing the chords and singing the melody. The musicians writing down the Nashville code and chatting amongst themselves about the 5 and the 3 over the 4 and all this kind of stuff, and then going in the studio and creating all this magic. It's there's nothing different than that. Where the line is still being drawn is in the film and TV world, because it's a deeper issue there, because actors don't want their likenesses replicated and reused, and I totally understand that. But you know, I can see that argument falling down too at some point.
Yeah, for sure. But it's all changing. I mean, the thing about AI that I notice a lot is that it will default to like the same 4 chords. It'll do like, I don't know, a 1, 5, 6 minor, 4. I mean, whatever it is. You know, I'm more of a letter guy than a number guy, but you know, it'll do like C to G to A minor 7th to F over and over and over again, unless you tell it to do something different. You know, or you record your own demo, you know, using Pro Tools with just guitar and a vocal, and then upload it and let Suno do the ear candy. It does it extremely well.
Yeah.
It really does.
And I totally agree. And that's, you know, that's the exact analogy that I would use too, because that's exactly what it is. It's the window dressing, it's the framing up of the meat of the song that you're putting in. Because again, I mean, if you know, there were days, and there still are days, that I'm able to pitch guitar vocal demo or piano vocal demo.
Sure.
It still is a relevant way to pitch a song, but it's dictated by the song. You know, I mean, my old joke is like, I don't think Achy Breaky Heart would have worked very well as a guitar vocal demo. However, you know, there are some that will. So I mean,
I think some people in the industry, they like to hear that raw thing because they don't want a producer to be, you know, kind of, I don't know, influenced by the AI ear candy.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And you know, and with that also, there are still record producers and A&R people out there who have vivid imaginations, who can hear the basic raw guitar and vocal, or like a pop leaning song, and go, wait a minute, I know how to make this country. Those people are still out there, and I still get to deal with those people. They're not as many as they used to be. There are a lot of people who essentially, you know, will copy a demo, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, in fact, it's a tip of the hat to the people who created the demo. So just part of it.
Sure. Well, you know, I've done a fair amount of you know, polishing, you know, what's over the years, and you know, it boils back to the song. I mean, it really does. Like the title, you know, the top line. Yeah, you know, these are things we score on Song Refiners: title, top line, your overall lyrics, your arrangement, all those things. So they're all important. I mean, if you have a title that you come up with that you think is really unique, and you don't do a search to see if it's actually been taken before, that's the first thing I do, man, when I come up with a song idea. Has that title been written? Yeah. And then secondarily, has it been written in the way that you are visualizing? Your story arc, Yeah. So, no, I totally agree. I can't count the number of times that I have said a title to somebody and they go, oh God, I got to hear that. Yeah. Right. It's so important. It's so important. And, you know, usually in country music, it's pretty easy to come up with a title because it's usually the last half of the chorus hook. You know, it's usually not all the time, but, you know, I've seen some great songs coming out of Song Refiners, folks who, you know, they've got really unique stuff, really unique titles, and you can tell that they're not just, you know, going to Suno saying, hey, write me a song about a pink cat chasing blue mice. Yeah, right. You know, they're thinking it. Yeah, you can do that. It's crap, but you can do it. Well, and it may be the follow up to the obituary too. You never know. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So it's a different time for sure. I mean, I'm sure it has presented challenges when it comes to that. When you get a song that you represent, somebody says, "Okay, we want to put it on hold." What does that mean? Because everybody wonders, like, what does it mean to be put on hold?
Yeah, well, it's not what it used to be because there was a time, probably 15 or 20 years ago, when what would happen with someone. So what a hold means is like it's a right of first refusal. The producer is saying, "Hey, please don't play this song for anybody else because we're very interested in it." Well, what happened was that got to be sort of an abusive relationship where producers would hold a whole bunch of songs, which to the publishers and the song pluggers took away their inventory of songs.
Right, right.
And sometimes for 6 months, the song wouldn't get pitched. And then the producer would go, "Oh, yeah, I meant to call you last month. We're not going to cut that."
Yeah.
So publishers stood together and said, "Okay, we'd like to do this like the film industry." In the film industry, if you option an idea and then don't do it, you have to pay a kill fee so that the writers get something out of the deal.
Oh.
Well, we tried that and it didn't really work very well.
No, too many songs.
So essentially what happens now is if somebody tells me, "Hey, I'm going to put this song on hold," I go, "That's great, but I'm going to keep playing it for other people. However, if I get somebody else who's interested in it, I'm going to call you back
Of course.
and let you know." Now, you know what happens then, too, with guys like me who are always looking for an extra edge when I'm pitching a song. I will take the song into the next person and go, "Listen, don't tell anybody, but this song's on hold, but I'm not supposed to play it for you, but I'm going to anyway." So suddenly there's the excitement of, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be a great," so
Yeah.
you got to use everything.
Sure. I mean, that sounds like a good strategy, even if it wasn't on hold.
Well, yeah, but
Oh, that stuff comes back to get you. Huh?
yeah.
All right, so you got to worry about your credibility, and let's talk about your credibility. I mean, if you've got to be selective in what you take and present to your industry contacts, because if you present a turd to them, you're going to be known as a turd pusher, right?
Well, that's true. And the bottom line is everybody's time is limited.
Yeah.
And with A&R people, producers, label executives, and even artists, man, they got other things they got to do. So if I consistently pitch credible songs, I will always get meetings. But if I start, pitching turds, as you say, it's only a matter of time before they go, "Oh, I like him, but the songs he's got aren't that great." So there's that side of credibility. And the other side of credibility, too, is with my writers and with my clients. I try to be as responsive as I can be. It's a fine line because I have some writers who want to know everything, every little thing about it. Did he breathe in the middle of the chorus? Did he sigh? Did he roll his eyes? And after a while, it's like, dude, please, give me a moment here. But so my business is a trust business on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's important. So you don't just take anything that somebody says, "Hey, check out my, songs." How many songs do you usually check out from somebody? If these AI writers, they write 600 songs a night.
Oh, Lord,
I mean, so how do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, typically, on the front end, when somebody reaches out and said, "Hey, I got some songs I'll let you to listen to," sure. I go back and say, "Look, send me 3 to 5 songs, no more."
Yeah.
Now, and I'll tell you a little secret. If I get more than 5 songs, I just send them a nice little note and say, "I don't think I can help you," because they're already not following my instructions.
Exactly.
So, but 3 to 5 songs gives me a notion that they know what they're doing. It also gives me an opportunity to go, do I think I can help them or not? And then I have a conversation with the writer. Then we talk about, okay, is this AI assisted? How deep in AI is it assisted? How much of this is you? And how much of this can you certify to me that it is you? So then we can move forward.
I want you to play it and sing it live right in front of my face.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, I haven't really ever had to do that, but that's actually a great idea.
It is, because
Yeah,
I don't think many of them would be able to do it. Now,
yeah,
not everybody who writes a song can play an instrument. I get that. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
I don't think Michael Jackson did. I think I used to hear he used to hum like stuff to Quincy, and you
Yeah.
know,
Well, and even Loretta Lynn. I mean, she would just sing melodies to her co-writers, and
yeah.
and it certainly worked pretty well for both Michael and Loretta.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, there's different ways to verify, but it is really difficult. And you know, I see a lot of these people too, also in a rush to copyright. Is copyright something that they should be rushing out to do as soon as they get it, downloaded from Suno and then uploaded to the copyright office? Is that wise?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a question of being wise or not. I think it's a question of, is it absolutely necessary? A book that has become my Bible in the music industry is by Donald Passman. It's called Everything You Always Wanted to Know About the Music Business, but Were Afraid to Ask. It's
Yeah.
probably in the 15th or 16th edition now. The very first edition didn't even have the internet in it. That's how long ago it was. But but he addresses those things there. I think that writers need to read books like that to get an idea about it. Now, where I'm going with that is that in that book, he essentially says, the minute that your pen lifts off that paper when you have written down the lyric, you have a copyright. When you go to the copyright office, you're verifying that copyright. These days, if you send an email to somebody with the lyric in it, you got a timestamp on it. So
Right.
then there's no question about when you wrote it. So
Yeah.
I still think it's a necessary step. Whether it's necessary to do it right the minute that you finish your demo or not I just leave that up to the writers. If it were me, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, it's expensive. I mean, you can do a
Yeah.
collection, but it's still going to be like $60 for, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, 10 to 12 songs. So
Yeah,
it can.
I'm in a group of networkers around the country, and there's a copyright attorney in there, and he actually did share with me. It's not really called a collection, but there's another kind of loophole that you can tag 6 or 8 songs into
Yeah.
one sort of package. And again, I'm not going to get into it because I don't really understand it, but I could introduce people to this attorney, and he could make some money on it. And so
Right. Yeah. Or just go look it up on,
yeah,
Perplexity or,
yeah,
AI, whatever.
right.
There's no shortage of information anymore. And I think that's what, people need to understand. Songs have been, it's so easy to create a song anymore. And so many people do it, and they create multiple songs a day. And, I think it's diminished the actual value of songs. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest issues that industry people have, is that it's diminished the value of a song because they used to be so hard to do well.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you know,
and I agree. And then, there was just a meme that I just saw the other day, and it was a robotic character at an amusement park in Japan.
yeah,
And something happened to the robot, and in the middle of the robot dance, he kicked this kid like in the solar plexus, and the kid went over crying. Well, the next time I saw the meme, somebody had said, "This is Suno creating a bridge that doesn't work." I mean, yeah, you can. And what I'm trying to say there is, yeah, you can produce 100 Suno demos a day, but I wouldn't bet you're going to get 100 great demos or great songs out of a day. If you are, then please call me right now because we need to work together. I'm just saying.
yeah, right. And we can do a per song fee.
Yeah.
No,
That's the ticket.
that's the ticket, a per song fee. Yeah, well, that's great. Well, I mean, it's been. I try to keep these things relatively short, so
Yeah.
because people are like 2-year-olds who just drank a 12-pack of Red Bull and snorted a bag of Skittles. they ain't got no attention span. So we're going to have to let these people go so that they can move on with their day. But I'm excited about what you're doing, and that you've had success, and that's the thing, is that success leaves clues. And
Yeah.
so it's great that some of our folks are connecting with you, and I'm going to do what I can to help connect folks that I'm coming across on Psalm Refiners, because I'm kind of like, it's kind of like I'm a curator in a way. I mean, I see everything going on through there, and any given day I've got 200 to 250 songs being reviewed. That's a lot, but I have a way to see the ones that are scoring up in the upper 90s. If I get songs in the upper 90s, I'm like, I need to find out what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because
I think,
it's not easy to get those.
no, it isn't. It's not easy to create those. And I think what you're doing is a wonderful service for songwriters. This is something, back in the day, we would send in songs to NSAI and get a critique and this and that and this and that. And it would take quite a while. But the program that you have set up, people can get credible feedback on their songs, pretty much instantly. And that is such a good clue. I mean, there's a thing called the feedback loop. And if you're not involved in a feedback loop where you get good feedback from people and good resourceful feedback, you're flying blind. And again, I just hope that all of your writers can get as lucky as me and get some of these on their wall too.
Man, look at that.
It feels good, man. I don't mind telling you.
It does, and I'd like to get a few of those myself.
Absolutely, let's do it.
I mean, I'm just like everybody else, and not only did I create it, I'm a user, and that's why I created it, because I was like, I don't want AI to write for me. I mean, that to me, that is just lame. I want to use it as a tool, like we talked about, to be able to use it as a collaborator and say, here's my idea, here's my title, here's my story arc, here's what I'm thinking. These are hooks I'm hearing. Let's work on this. And you should see my conversations that I have with Perplexity, which I use. It's an AI. It really is like a wonderful collaborator, but it can only do so much, and it'll always resort to the tropes, and tropes are killers. You're never going to get a cut with tropes. Yeah. So, I've even trained my AI to do the quintessential Nashville industry person's response, which is, I need more meat on the bone. I need some more meat on the bone. I need more furniture in the room. I mean, my AI reviewer will say it because I've told it to say it. It's pretty much, AI is like a dumb box of rocks, or like a teenager who's unruly but wants to work but doesn't know what to do. Yeah. So you tell it, and I got like 10,000 lines of custom code in this thing to try to get it to be like me, nice, but I'm going to tell you the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's wonderful, and I'm happy that we're going to be working more together here, starting now. I mean, you're already working with several of our members, which is great. Yeah. And and I'm always on the lookout for somebody that is a nice person who gets the job done, and can help somebody get to the next level. I mean, that's where we all want to go.
That's exactly right. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today and let me speak a little bit about myself. And man, I just wish you all the best. And hopefully you and I can find that writer that will get doors open for them, and we can claim a little bit of that success. And then the little spotlight will shine on us too.
I know there's at least a handful of them right now that,
Cool.
that they're doing great work, and so they just need to get heard. So I'm going to be turning them on to you, and we'll see what happens.
All right, buddy.
All right. Well, hey, you take care. You guys who are watching us, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for using Song Refiners. You are my hero. Without you, I would be just sitting here with an app that didn't have anybody on it. And there's nothing worse than that. So thank you for being a part of it and for using it, and for learning about what it takes to be a great songwriter, creating songs of value. And that's what it's all about, creating songs of value. So thank you again, Chris. Visit visit chriskeaton.com, CHRISKEATON.com, and learn more about Chris. And we'll also give you ways to get in touch with Chris through Song Refiners. We're going to make a way for you to get right to him and see what happens. And then we'll leave it up to you and Chris, right?
Thank you, Keith.
All right. Thank you, buddy. And you have a great rest of your day.
You
Peace.
too, man.
All right. Out.